Okay, I'm back. Let's hope this works this time. Oh, how strange. I don't know why that was doing that. Very strange. Now nobody's joined. 4 people are here. Hello. Please tell me you can see me. I don't know why. Someone give me a wave. Give me something in the chat, please. This is getting off to a great start. Good evening, everybody. Hi, hello, how are you? If you're just joining, wondering why I'm sitting in silence, it's because I can't see any comments. Oh, Pat says hi. Hi, Pat. Kerry says hi. Hi, I can see comments now. Yay. Hello, everybody. Sorry about the misstart. I don't know what was happening. It could well be a user issue. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Can you all hear and see me? Now that I can see the comments. Hi George. Yes, it is better. Hi Sue. Thanks for the wave. You can see me. Carol, can you hear me though? Hi Gavin. Mr. Menace is here. Hi Thomas, it's been ages. How are you doing? What have you been up to? Hi Sean, it has been ages. I'm doing well. How are you? What have I been up to? I did something quite exciting this week. I put my house on the market. That's exciting / stressful. So yes, my house is, well, it's going on the market. We've done all the stuff, but it hasn't actually been listed yet. So that's exciting, which means that I'm frantically looking at Rightmove every single evening, sending houses to Nigel going, well, what about this one? And I'm just like, no, I don't like that one. So trying to get us both on the same page is good fun. What have you been up to, Sean? Tell me more about your life. Hi, Ree. Thank you so much for saying that you can see and hear me. It's lovely to be able to speak to you. I don't know what happened the first time around, but here we are. It's working. I'm conscious that it's 7 minutes past, so I'm going to try and not do too much rambling because we've had time wasted by me not being able to see your comments and having to start again. So I think we should just really get into it. So I'm going to start talking and getting into it, and you can start doing all your hellos and highs in the background, and I'll come to them as we go. I know someone from Escentual is here because I saw them on my iPad. I don't know who. Have we got Kiwi? Have we got Karen? Have we got Chelsea? Tell us who, everybody. So tonight, I hope you've got your boxes ready. Here's my box. Hope you've got yours. I can see you in all your glory. Oh, thanks, Carol. I'm here with all of you. Good. 8 fragrances tonight. Wrists, hands, arms, and knees, I guess. Yes, you're going to have to go everywhere. Crook of the elbow, anywhere you've got spare space. So, let's just go for it. Let's go for it. So, tonight we are going to talk about iris fragrances, the 8 iris fragrances in the box, and what makes them smell the way that they do. We'll even talk about a bit about the history of the iris note and also the olfactory context of the theme. And we're going to discuss 8 of the fragrances, A to H, capturing your views on them, talking a bit about how they showcase the note in their own special way. You are in the right stream, Helen. Sorry, the first stream was a bad stream where I couldn't see anything. So this is the right one. You are not watching a recording. This is live, which is what I would say if I was saying that live and then this was a recording. So actually that's of no help really whatsoever. But I can tell you it's 20:09 on Thursday, 31st of March, if that helps. Have I been hitting the gym? Looking great. I have actually a little bit. Thanks. Thanks so much, Kirsten. I know there's a reason why I'm inviting you. It's sad that it's my first birthday in 3 and I could actually go out and celebrate, and I'm here instead with a glass of water. That's not sad, Marie. This is the best way to spend your birthday. Happy birthday, Marie. Everybody wish Marie a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Marie. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had some cake. If you'd like to pass that around to everybody here, that would be fantastic. So, and then we're going to reveal what the fragrances are, back to what I was saying. So we're going to talk about the fragrances, get some thoughts on them, why they show iris in an interesting way, reveal them, And I'll also do what I did last time, which you all seem to really, really like, which was give you a bit of a fragrance fact for all of them and do some further sniffing as well to kind of say, if you like this type of iris, then check this out. And for most of those, I've actually got props to show you. I've got other fragrances to show you that'll link in with those. Okay, so let's just go right in to Iris. While I'm going to talk you through the box and the theme, obviously ask your questions as normal, but one thing I would like you to tell me is, what did you think of this box? Did you enjoy this box? Did you find something you loved from this box? Was it your favourite box, least favourite box? Did you prefer rose? Give me some feedback on the box. I'm just intrigued to see how you all felt about it. So let's talk about Iris. I think the famous thing about Iris that you'll know, the one fact about Iris that I'm sure always comes up when we talk about Iris, is that it's one of perfumery's most expensive materials. But I don't think people often talk enough about its beauty, and that's why I've really enjoyed putting this box together and also sniffing it and now telling you about it. Despite its expense, Iris is one of the most prevalent materials found in perfumes today, and that is exactly because of its beauty and its complex odour profile. But where does it come from and what does it smell like? Well, orris, the material that is used in perfumery, is extracted from the root of iris and not the flower. So those beautiful purple flowers that we see is not where the smell comes from, because irises don't really have a smell. They do have kind of like a fresh green vegetal smell, I guess. But actually they come from the roots or the rhizomes, which are dried over a number of years and then ground before the distillation process, at the end of which they become orris butter, which is kind of like a solid paste, like mixture that is used in perfumery. And smelling orris butter is quite fascinating because it's such a, I don't know, such a strange smell. You wouldn't necessarily think about putting it in perfume if you were to smell it on its own. And because of that lengthy aging process and the fact that 1 ton of iris root produces approximately about 2 kilos of orris butter, orris is one of the most costly perfume materials around. So a lot of these fragrances we'll talk about will have natural orris in them, I'm sure, but they'll also have other materials as well that are less expensive, that do some of the similar things to kind of bolster that iris impression. The odour profile of iris or orris, which people kind of use interchangeably as a name, is complex. It has a very earthy character initially, and this is what I mean when I say you'd smell it as orris butter and think, why would I put that in a perfume? It's very earthy, and I think you could almost call it vegetal or mineral. It's quite vegetable-like, actually. It smells like carrots or turnips. It's very, very earthy in that respect, but cold earthy, not like warm earthy, it's cold. It also has a sweetness to it, and it shares some kinds of compounds with violets called irones, which smell kind of sweet violet-y. Texture-wise, iris can be really powdery, but also suede-like. So it's often used for a textural purpose in perfumes. So a lot of perfumes will use iris to give a feel. And I personally find that perfumes have a real texture. When I smell a perfume, I do think about it in texture a lot. You know, whether it's smooth or rough, soft, powdery, plush, those kind of things. Like, is it velvety? Is it silky? And that's where my mind goes. And iris is used to kind of give that kind of powdery suede-like effect. I think it also can feel quite doughy as well. There's certainly some doughy irises out there, and dense. And in some executions, it can be weightless. And I've smelled a lot of iris fragrances that smell just like a fresh sheet of white paper. I think that's such a beautiful smell as well. It's a fascinating material that can be pulled in many directions due to the fact that it's such a multifaceted scent. And I think hopefully with this box, we've shown you just how varied it can be, because there are so many different types of irises in this box. We've tried not to go for the obvious and tried not to just go for things that smell like iris. Hopefully you can recognise iris in all of them, but actually what you're getting is something a little bit more unusual. So yeah, that's this box. Now I'm going to scroll back over those comments because you've all been chatting away. I can see you having your conversations, so I want to go and capture some of those. Carol says A is too soapy, but she loves H. Gavin enjoyed it much more than he thought. Di said least favourite box so far. Interesting. What made it your least favourite, Di? Cheryl, I liked it. It was my second one, and there was a few that I loved in the box. That's good. Is that Elodie? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I did prefer rose, but there are some lovely fragrances in this box. Helen says way better than I expected. I now need to buy an iris fragrance, B, D, or H maybe. Angela liked it a lot. Tina says it's her favourite so far. Pat says it's a bit more lightweight. Okay, so no love or hate samples. Okay, got it. Amy just sprayed D in her mouth. So many jokes, so many jokes. Only H out of this box, but I liked better than the rose on the whole. Okay, I think this was a bit more varied than rose. Rose is such a distinct odour that if you don't really like rose, I guess, or not a massive fan of rose, the rose box was always going to give you rose, rose, rose. And just it's one of her favourites. Marie said, I like this box more than the rose one. It's a bit interesting. Michelle liked this box better than rose, although there were some lovely fragrances in there too. Jen said it made me think, I'm not sure I can tell the difference between iris and violet. Interesting. Marie says it's one of her favourite ingredients. Okie dokie, lots of interesting stuff. Okay, so let's go right ahead and talk through each of the fragrances. We have done a nice bit of intro. This is an interactive experience, so smell along with me and describe what you're experiencing in the chat. I'll pick up on the comments as I go. Use colours, textures, emotions, people, places, things, and even emojis if you want to transport us away with your descriptions. As we've always said with Essential Scents, there is no right or wrong. If it smells a certain way to you and you want to describe it a certain way, then that is right. Perfume is so personal. We each have our own experiences that kind of lead to the way that we perceive scent, and also there is no specific language for scent, so just go right for it. This is a safe perfume space. Okay, let's go for A. So my question to you is, if fragrance A was a celebrity, who would it be? Let me give this a spritz. This is fragrance A. Spritzy spritz. Di says, I think the Irish note did not make me feel anything, and I like to feel something when I put perfume on. I get that. You want to have something, you want to have an emotional attachment to it, or new experience. Jen says A smells like expensive soap. I could not agree more. I've described this one as the fresh iris. I think this is really pretty. Cheryl says it would be fair enough this morning. Delicate. Keira Knightley. I can see her more in this than Coco Mademoiselle. A redhead like Audrey Fleurot. So this one we're calling the fresh iris, and we picked this because it showcases a really modern iris. It's a good entry point as well. It's an iris that's kind of pretty approachable, pretty affable. It's not too powdery, grey or turnipy. Instead, it's quite bright and sparkly. Very soapy, says Gavin. Tina says Helen Mirren, a bit retro. Yeah, I like that. Fiona Bruce. Someone full of fun, says Angela. Carol likes to feel emotionally attached to a perfume as well. Scent is emotional, isn't it? I think definitely. It's linked to the memory centres of our brain. So, absolutely. Marie says something a bit headachy. There's a new perfume, a few perfumes with the same effect. I need to work out what it is so I can avoid it. It's probably a number of different things, to be honest. I get some headachy things from certain things, and I can tell what they are when I smell them. Patchouli, definitely. So I don't really wear many patchouli-based fragrances, although I will soak myself in Angel. But I think there are certain patchouli materials that do give me a headache. Bathroom cleaning products, says Aline Sun. Okay. So when I smell this, it smells very bright, glowy citrus. It's sparkly and fizzy, but it has a very crystalline sort of pureness to it. Like it's, you know, very expertly cut, multifaceted diamonds. But there is a soft powderiness, and what I find is on skin, and you do have to wear this on skin because it is more subtle on the card. You get all of that lovely freshness, that soapiness, but in sort of like half an hour in, you get the powderiness starts to come through. And it's got this lovely, soft, sort of plush, towel-like powderiness of iris as it goes through. It's very clean iris, very, very clean. It's like they've got rid of all of they've buffed out all of the you know, unpleasant or strange or challenging edges of the material. It's the scent of expensive paper, perhaps maybe to write a love letter on if you're feeling so inclined, or some hate mail. I think if you're going to do hate mail, you might as well do it on nice paper. I think I would. That's like, you know, Sharon Osbourne, random thought, when someone used to annoy her, she used to send a Tiffany box and she would get Jack, her son, Jack Osborne, to do a little poop when he was a kid in the Tiffany box, and she would tie it up and send it to people as a gift when they'd wronged her, which is absolutely gross, but you're expecting Tiffany and you're not getting it. And there's lots of clean billowy musks, back to the task at hand, in there. I think it's a lovely iris. I think it's so clean, so fresh, so beautiful, and a good iris to start with. Do you want to know what it is? You sent a letter today and you did actually spray it. Well, absolutely, that's the right thing to do. Hopefully they will notice. I think they will. I think they will. Okay. Are you ready to find out what the fragrance is? Let's go for it. Our first reveal, fragrance A in our iris box, is Tiffany & Co. Eau de Parfum. This came out in 2017. It's by a perfumer called Daniela Andrier. It is £56 for a 30ml Eau de Parfum and £102 for a 75ml Eau de Parfum. This is a really beautiful, clean, fresh iris that I think is very approachable, kind of buffs out some of the more turnipy, sort of strange edges of iris and allows it to be very clean, very crystalline, very clear, very light, very delicate, a little bit soapy. I like that. Beautiful bottle with the lovely Tiffany blue. Did you get my hint of Tiffany earlier? I was talking about Sharon Osbourne. Gave it away there. This is actually your fragrance fact. This is not the first fragrance from Tiffany. Almost that it's like a signature name. It's the Tiffany & Co. fragrance. The first was actually Tiffany, which was released in 1987. Another fact is that Daniela Andrier, who is the perfumer here, she's also the unofficial house perfumer at Prada. She does all the Prada fragrances. So she's done all of the infusion fragrances for Prada. So things like Infusion de Riz, and you know, all the others. And as you will know, Prada uses iris everywhere. So it's interesting that her first fragrance for Tiffany was also an iris. It is a new Tiffany. This is probably, this one came out in 2017. So if you've had one before 2017, it's different. This one's called Tiffany & Co. Comes in a lovely box. Actually, I've got the box here, which is that kind of signature Tiffany blue. So pretty. I really like that one. It's not really like, it's not a dramatic fragrance. I would say it's an everyday. Okay, moving on to your further sniffing then. If you like Daniela Andrier's work here, then you must try Infusion de Riz by Prada. It is the very best iris. It's powdery, fresh, green, suede-like and diffusive, very luxurious. We didn't include it here because we included it in our green box as a bit of a wild card in there because it does have a green facet. So we don't want to repeat ourselves, obviously. So yes, Infusion de Riz. Or if you want to try something slightly different, I'd also recommend Infusion de Riz Cedra, which is, Ced even actually, Cedra is bad French. This is a more masculine version. It's woodier, it's more bubbly and fizzy, and it feels more like a modern aldehyde floral for men, almost like a Chanel No. 5, but for men, but very very So those are your two further sniffing if you like this one, which is Infusion de Riz by Prada and Infusion de Riz Ced by Prada. Let me put those away over here. Did she do the original Gucci EDP? I don't actually know. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to do a Google. It's a smell where I feel like if I checked into a fancy hotel room, the sheets might smell like this. Yeah, totally. It's very clean linen. No, Helen would never have guessed it's so relatively recent. Angela didn't care for it on release, so she's surprised. Oh, okay, yeah, they've had a couple of Tiffany's over the years. Okay, let's move on from Tiffany. Let's move on to B. B, I am calling the Suave Iris. Let's give this a sniff. So, fragrance B. If fragrance B was a holiday destination, where would it be? That is my question to you. I love this. Yeah, this is really, really good. Cheryl says, I love this. I love this too. I kind of forgot how much I like this. So if it was a holiday destination, where would it be? So why do we pick it whilst you're doing that in the background? We picked this fragrance because, as with many fragrance notes, iris is seen as typically feminine. And we wanted to show that it's actually very popular in masculine fragrances too. It's used throughout masculine perfumery. And this one showcases the more suede-like facets of iris. So where you might think of like velvet or powder in other iris fragrances, this one is pure suede. But it also has a bit of a gourmand twist to it as well. It's a little bit edible and delicious. But overall, I think it's very elegant, sophisticated, and well tailored in a sort of signature Italian way. Lots of love for B. Okay. Someone says like, oh, so Cheryl says Malta. Helen loves B. Somewhere near the sea, somewhere deep and fish yet near the sea, maybe Casablanca. Okay. Okay, I struggle with B. First, if I find awful, it totally changes and I like it. Interesting. It's woody like the teak bungalows in high-end Thai resorts. That's really specific, but I get that. It's like rich woodiness, isn't it? Like deep. Iceland. I guess it's warm and cozy, isn't it? So what does it smell like? To me, it's the softest suede in a subtle shade of beige. Maybe a little brown. Maybe it goes to sort of like a nice sort of auburn colour. There's hints of coffee and spice. And it's got a subtle sort of roasted vibe. There's a little bit of like a toastedness in there, like a kind of a malted sugar vibe. I think it's just very elegant. It's almost like a plush velvet smoking jacket maybe, or a nice sort of pair of suede shoes. Not keen, it smells like bananas to me, so St. Lucia. Maybe. Paris. Yeah, Carol says she can smell a woody smell too. It grew on you more. Okay, yeah. Cinnamon, yeah, it's got a spiciness to it. I think it's really, really beautiful. So this is more masculine iris that kind of takes it in the suede direction, has a bit of a gourmand twist. It's very warm and cozy. Aline says, I think I know what it is. Is it the intense version though? I don't know. Depends what you think it is, Aline. Something like a wet forest. Monaco. Interesting. Right. Should we put you out of your misery? Because we've got 33 minutes and 7 fragrances to go. So let's speed up a little bit because of my earlier technological mishaps. Are you ready? So this fragrance is, and Aline, you can tell me if you were correct. I will believe you. I'll take it at face value. Is Uomo, U-O-M-O, Intense by Valentino. So this came out in 2016. I don't know who the perfumer is. It wasn't anywhere on the internet when I was looking. It is £51.85 for a 50ml EDP and £71.40 for a 100ml eau de parfum. Your fragrance fact for this one is that Uomo Intense is a flanker to Uomo, which was a really beautiful fragrance that came out from Valentino, I think 2014, I want to say. And that paired some delicious gourmand Italian accords, so like very specifically Italian, like myrtle liqueur, creme de gianduja, coffee, with white leather to create a suede-like powdery masculine that was addictive. And I thought it was a really beautiful fragrance. I loved it when it came out. I don't know where my bottle's gone. Must be around here somewhere. This fragrance, the Intense, captures the spirit of this, but I think it pushes things more in the suede leather direction, less of the gourmand, and I think it's better for it. I think it's actually a really, really beautifully done masculine that feels very, very modern. It feels a little bit sweet and delicious, but it's not sickly. It doesn't ever go over the top. It's just perfectly refined. And people were telling it was Shalimar. Shalimar's much smokier. Too sophisticated for Angela's son. He'll grow into it. Oh God, you're lucky passengers, Angela. Definitely, they should enjoy it. Oh, Gavin's got enough pretty pennies. Angela's saying caramel. Totally get the caramel vibe. So, I think this is beautiful. Oh, I might wear this tomorrow. It's really nice. Might get Nigel in some of this. Might just go and spray him. Okay, so for more, you're further sniffing, for more suave, sophisticated iris in a masculine fragrance, I honestly don't think you can do better than Dior Homme Original. Now they've re-released Dior Homme because Dior are a bit confusing. They like to do this. The new Dior Homme is not the original. There is one called Dior Homme Original, which is all suede-like iris, lavender, and a touch of cocoa powder. It's one of the greatest masculine fragrances ever made. This is my vintage bottle that I'm running out of, that I'm very sad about because the new version of Original does not smell the same. I would also recommend, and this is where I have to go and refer to my shelf, bear with. Where is it? Yeah. From Maison Crivelli, Iris Malacan. This is it's almost like they've got iris powder and they've got an equal measure of cocoa powder. They've mixed it together. This is beautiful. So that's Iris Malacan by Maison Crivelli. Gavin, don't even get me started on Dior Homme and all the different versions. Me and Dior, we have fallen out. Okay, lots of people saying they would wear that. Brilliant. And it is very unisex. Yes, don't let the Uomo put you off. So that was our Suave Iris, which was Uomo by Valentino. Uomo Intense, I should say, which is a darker bottle. Amy loves Iris Malacan. I know, it's a nice shelf, isn't it? It's a lovely shelf. Okay, let's move on to C because I don't want to keep you here past 9 because I know how you've all got TV to watch. Although I think I'm more interesting than any television programme, but we won't go into that detail. C, let's go for C. Cheryl's buying it and hiding it from the other half. I think that that's the best thing that you could possibly ever do. Have we lost someone from Escentual? Are we rogue? We can't be rogue. Surely. Lots of fans of Iris Malacan in here. We can't be rogue. Someone was from Escentual. When I joined my iPad, someone from Escentual was here. Okay, let's do C. If this is what I'm calling the powdery Iris. Spanish cleaning products is going. If this was a dessert, what dessert would it be? Please do answer those questions whilst I am telling you about this one. So this one for me shows the powdery facet of Iris, but it's also quite a floral take on Iris. So it's like a floral bouquet with Iris in the background, giving it that powdery feel. I think it feels quite joyful and vibrant. And it's a very luxurious Iris that shows, I think, why the material demands such a high price tag. Also, it reminds me of something that I smelled around the time I was at university, and I cannot for the life of me think of what it was, which is very, very annoying. Is the loo being unblocked again? Yes, it is. Yeah, we're just unblocking the loo with this. Hannah from Escentual was on, I thought. Yeah, I don't know if Hannah Escentual was here. Normally they paste the links, don't they? Okay, so Marta, love seeing what is PM you, hoping that you could reveal it early for me. So other people have PM'd me, asking me to reveal things, and they have realised that I am, like, I don't know what the right term is for somebody who won't speak, but I keep very stum. Reminds me of my grandma in a good way. Bubble gum. Angel Delight. Hope all the bottles make it through the move. Yeah, oh God, don't even get me started on thinking about that. Yeah. But I've had to tell the photographer that when he comes to take photos for the house, I don't want him to photograph my vast perfume collection because I don't want it to be stolen. Panna cotta, no to see. It would be like grape jelly. I don't like grape. Fair enough. My name's pronounced Ailey. Thank you, Ailey. I remember that, Ailey. I thought I got it wrong earlier, and then I don't know if you told me, and that's why I sort of didn't want to say it again in case I said it wrong. But Ailey, thank you. Nice to meet you. See, it's the poshest soap straight from my grandma's cabinet. Smells a bit lemony. Oh, there you are, Hannah. I'm not seeing them, Hannah, but that's probably just me. Hi, Hannah. Okay, it smells. What does it smell like? So, it smells fizzy and fresh initially, I think. There's a twist of orange. I get a lot of orange up top, which I think is that kind of citrus thing that's making you all think of cleaner. Then there's resins and there's flowers and a beautiful kind of solar orange blossom and a bed of powdery iris. It's very finely milled, I think. Would you like to know what it is? C is too masculine, says Maddie. Interesting. Interesting. I can kind of see that though, because it's got a sharpness, hasn't it, Maddie, I think, that might make it feel a bit more masculine. Is that kind of very strong citrus character in the opening. Lemon and spices, Ailey. Okay. Don't normally like flowery scents, but this is lovely. Okay, do you want to know what it is though? What was A and B? A was the Tiffany & Co. Eau de Parfum, and B was the Uomo Intense by Valentino. And C is Athalia by Parfum de Marly. This was created by perfumer Alexandra Kosinski and it came out in 2016. We know how you love a bit of Parfum de Marly here. This is £210 for a 75ml Eau de Parfum. We know how you love Parfum de Marly, but not necessarily the Parfum de Marly price tag. It's a beautiful black bottle. So this is a really beautiful powdery iris, but with a very sort of floral character as well. And I would say for another floral take on iris, I would recommend, as you're further sniffing, Iris Poudre. There you go. Not Iris Poudre, Iris Poudre by Edition de Parfum Frederic Malle. Much like Athalia, which is fragrance C, the powdery iris facet is the core of the fragrance here, and there's got a luminous floral character kind of as the adornment to that. It's got a waxy aldehyde classic feel to it, and I think it's really luxurious smelling, just like this one. Pure luxury. There you go. So C is Athalia by Parfum de Marly, £210 for a 75ml Eau de Parfum. Yeah, exactly the same bottle as Oriana and Delina, just this one is black with a nice black tassel and gold. And I felt like it was a little bit see-through then, but I think that was just my mind. Okie dokie. Athalia. Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's Athalia, I don't know. I would say Athalia, but yes, Athalia. Athalia of a perfume. I don't think so. I'm not sure this fragrance is worth that price. It does smell like this and smells a bit cheap, to be honest. Fair enough. It's up to you to see whether you would like it enough to buy it. Yeah, not similar, I would say, Ellie, in terms of actual odour profile, but I think similar in style. They kind of share kind of different like that. Luminous floral character, powderiness, but iris probably not front and centre. It's nice but pricey. Nice but pricey. Okie dokie, let's go for fragrance D. We're at the first half, the halfway point. If fragrance D was a superhero, what superhero would it be? Who would it be? Let's do D. Let's go for D. I like Iris Poudre as well. I might wear that tomorrow. Even though I said I'm already wearing the Uomo Intense. Just in a very irisy mood. I'm just going to spray a lot of this because it's nuclear. I guess, yeah, Gavin's saying that half, you know, some are good, there's some good and some bad from Parfum de Marly. I think normally it's a sign of a good brand if you don't like everything. Because if you don't like everything, I think it's because they are making different things for different people. Catwoman in a violet suit, Captain Underpants. Cheryl didn't like this one and has said Captain Underpants, which I think is quite funny. This one to me shows, it's the violet iris is what I'm calling it, and it shows how violet and iris overlap. Due to the kind of natural presence of irones in both. Violets have a very sweet, earthy character with a powdery feel, which obviously works really, really well with the earthy, powdery quality of iris. And this fragrance takes violet and iris to the extreme, creating a whirlwind that is really vibrant and fun. Something quite unusual for iris, which can sometimes be very dowdy, grey, very beautiful, pretty, kind of serious. And this is just fun. Smells of Parma violets. Yeah, lots of people say Parma violets because it's very violety. This is why violets are a tough sell. Violet fragrances don't tend to sell hugely well because people just smell them and go Parma violets. Same with mint fragrances because people smell them and think toothpaste. Gangster Granny. Super Gran. Angela loves D. Super sweet, maybe Batgirl. Thought he said Cats in Underpants. Yeah, I mean, I could have done. Tina says, the perfume I'd love to wear at home on my own. Those are the best ones. It smells like toilet freshener from BMM. This is one of my all-time favourite fragrances. And I wear it without shame. I think it's a big girly girl of a fragrance. It but I will wear it. I will wear the hell out of it because I think it's just so beautiful and so much fun. So what does it smell like? Well, to me, it smells like violet scented hairspray. It has a really fizzy hairspray vibe up top. I can only describe it as hairspray. But it's like violet scented Elnet with lots of juicy red berries and a soft spray of powder. It's delicious smooth vanilla. It goes very kind of velvety vanilla in the base. It's just glorious. I love it. And if you don't love it, that's absolutely fine. I take no offense at that. Different strokes for different folks, isn't it? Deborah says it's beautiful. Adore this. It's ethereal and playful and totally beautiful and light and fairy-like. Totally get that. I will be a big girl, Angela. I will be. Friend wears it at work. We can smell it 3 offices away. I'm surprised you can't smell it 3 buildings away. Just one of Georgina's favourites. Lots of loo cleaner vibes on this one. Okay, interesting. Do you want to know what it is? Of course you do. And I'm sure many of you have worked it out already. So, fragrance D is Insolence Eau de Toilette by Guerlain. This came out in 2006 by perfumer Maurice Roussel. He also created Musc Ravageur for Frederic Malle, if you know that perfume. And it is £78.20 for a 75ml Eau de Toilette. Fragrance fact, this fragrance has had 3 different bottle types. Let me show you. It was originally launched in this really cool sculptural bottle that looks a bit like someone has stacked a load of dishes in the sink. But it's meant to represent the different kind of circular wheels of the fragrance because it's kind of spiraling. It was designed by a famous sculptor called, I think, Serge Mansau. And then they launched it a few years later. Sort of, they put it into a collection with other fragrances in a bee bottle. So you used to be able to get it in this. I don't think this is as pretty, but there you go. You could get it in that bottle. And now they've relaunched it again in the classic Guerlain Heartstopper bottle, which is beautiful. I like this bottle, but prefer the Eau de Toilette. There is also an Eau de Parfum version, which comes... Well, actually, what I have here is the Eau de Parfum in this bottle, but I don't think it makes really a difference, which is a little bit more purple. The Eau de Toilette's a bit pink, which I think is a little bit more refined, but truthfully, I think the kind of raucous violet hairspray of the original Eau de Toilette is where it's at. It's much more exciting. And despite being created by a non-Guerlain perfumer, Maurice Roussel, this was way before Thierry Vasseur was like the in-house perfumer, it feels incredibly Guerlain to me. The face of the fragrance was Hilary Swank, and the campaign featured music by Muse. So yeah, insolence. There's enough insolence in here to wipe out a small army. Right, I missed comments, missed loads of comments. Okay, scroll back. Getting it in the bee bottle from Guerlain, which is such fun. Oh, I'd love to get a bee bottle of it. I do love this. I never guessed it. So much for love this one. Musc Ravageur is lovely. Yes, it is. It's one of my favourites too. I used to wear it every day when I was working. My vintage model smells a bit different, and that's Flying Saucer Shape. This one. Think of different versions. I think it has changed when Guerlain went from the flower bottle to the bee one. Yeah, there will always be subtle regulatory changes as well, and due to like availability of materials. Which is the trial? Trial is Eau de Toilette. Important distinction. I've just been sent this one as an illustrative bottle because it's exactly the same. The juice is just purple, but the one we have in the box is the Eau de Toilette, which is slightly more pink. So yeah, they're all spray bottles. So this is what it comes in now. Further sniffing then. So for another violety iris, I would recommend Violet Ida by Miller Harris. This is, it's not a smell-alike for Insolence. It's a much less sweet version of a Violet Iris. It feels much more plush and warm, much more amber, but it's got some of those like kind of earthy, subtle sweetness of violet in there, and I think it's really interesting. So if Insolence was too much for you in terms of Violet Iris, give this one a try. It's much more warmer. It smells like the inside of old books. Beautifully done. Okay, are you ready to move on? Should we do E? Lots of love for Violet Ida. Does the juice taste different on the different bottles? Not necessarily to me, but Insolence is so strong and bold that I think they can make subtle changes and it wouldn't really make a difference because it's such a distinct smell. Okay, Oh, lots of love for Violet Maiden. Right, let's do E, because we've got 15 minutes and I'm only halfway through. If fragrance E was a song, what song would it be? Very good question. I'll let you answer that while I talk about E, fragrance E. So, sorry, Pugsy just decided to have a little bark in the background. Pugs are gonna pug, I guess. Okay, let's do E. So this one is the warm iris, and we picked this because it shows iris more as a supporting act. It evokes the scent of skin, has a much more intimate quality to it. I think it feels completely genderless, and it's very warm and comforting. Smells like sweet spiced powder. I think it has, I smell of it and I think of terracotta. That's what it smells like to me. Because it's kind of, that kind of very nice orange colour. It's warm. It feels like a terracotta pot that's been sat there sort of absorbing the heat of the sun. It's got facets of pepper and orchid, giving it kind of a fresh floral vibe. It's resinous with a sweet base of vanilla, and there's a big chunk of cashmeran in there, which is like a woody resinous material that plays with the sweetness but also the powderiness of the iris. I think it's really, really beautiful. Yes, there's My Instance too, which is raspberry sweetness. I love My Instance, and I stocked up when I found it has been discontinued. I've got 2 massive bottles. Shut Off the Lights by Bastille. It's like an under the sheet scent. Ooh. Sex Bomb, Sex Bomb. Club Tropicana. Okay, if you liked D, you might like Dancing Strangers by 4160 Tuesdays. I never know if it's 4160 or 4160 or 4160 Tuesdays. Leans masculine, says Helen. Frankincense, lots of spice. Warmth, Carol gets the warmth of it. I think this is lovely. It's lovely. I like it. Right, let's just do the reveal. I'm going to just do the reveal. Try and catch up on a bit of time. Let's do the reveal. Okay, fragrance E is, are you ready? Powdered Veil by Miller Harris. This came out in 2018. It is by Perfume Mathieu Nadin. It is £85 for a 50ml eau de parfum and £115 for a 100ml eau de parfum. This was actually launched, your fragrance fact, as a part of the fragrance duo. The other fragrance in this little mini collection being Peau Santal, which was a very beautiful, creamy, mineral fresh sandalwood that we included in the Woody box. If you love this, which I do, because it's so warm and enveloping, but it's not a bold perfume. It's more of a skin scent, I would say. It's more intimate. You wear it and people have to be invited in to smell it a little bit more. It's so distinctly Miller Harris, says Deborah. Yeah, I get that. What's that? It's like when you come across a handkerchief that in your pocket that smells of a perfume you wore a long time ago. Yeah, totally. It's beautiful. If you like this, then I would recommend, if you can find it, because I think this smells quite similar. Now, if you can find it, because this is discontinued, I don't like to show you discontinued things because it's not nice to try and have to find something it's long discontinued. But this is New by YSL, NU, as in nude. Weird bottle, I know, it's like a little hockey puck. This shares a lot of, that's quite kind of, can you see there? That's it, right, Yves Saint Laurent New. You can, if I do that, you can see my naked picture of Madonna behind my ring light. But yes, YSL New. I'll try and do it so you can't see me actually. There you go. This is a really beautiful fragrance that shares those powdery, incense, resinous, sweet vibes, but also with that kind of floralness of the orchid. I love this. I have 6 bottles of it. I told you, I stock up. When I know something I love is being discontinued, I stock up. But there you go. So if you can find it, buy it for me. Thank you very much. I should have known. I have another on the list. I got Violet Ida as a full bottle, and which I'd got Powdered Veil instead. Aww. Kerstin, of course you love New. I knew you'd do it. You are well schooled on your perfumes. I knew you'd know it. Susan has some new YSL and she's agreed to send it to me so I can add it to my stockpile. Susan, you are too good to me. Okay, let's do F, G, and H. So, F. Interesting, a couple of people have said that they didn't like it before they tried it on the ceiling and they're liking it more. That is very interesting for fragrance. You have to have the matching set. It's like having, you know, you can't have just one sock, can you? You need 2 socks. Okay, let's do F. This is the cosmetic fragrance, cosmetic iris, we're calling it. If fragrance F was a film, what film would it be? It would be something very classic, very Hollywood for me. So we picked this because it's a cosmetic iris, i.e. it smells like lipsticks and face powders. And that's because those things were traditionally scented with iris and rose and violet, and that's why those smells are so evocative. And this fragrance captures that powdery sweet cosmetic vibe. It smells like watching your mum get ready for a night out. That's what it smells like when you're a kid. That's what it smells like. It's ruby red lipstick scented with rose and raspberry. It's sweet violet face powder, a dash of patchouli, and just some really juiciness in there in the iris. It's beautiful. I think it's such a gorgeous fragrance. A good lipstick fragrance is hard to find, I think, and I think this is one of the best. Casablanca, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Sharp initially, then powder. I quite like this. Kenzo Flower. I see a similarity. Yeah, we did Kenzo Flower in the floral box. We did. And I think I got to show my comically huge bottle of it because the 100ml bottle of Kenzo Flower is like, it's like a weapon. It's like this big. That's a perfect description of watching my mum getting made up. Yeah. For me, she always used to wear Ralph Lauren Safari for going out, or Chanel Allure. So those fragrances are very much that. I wrote a piece about it on my blog. It's called Trapped in a Scent Memory. Please feel free to go read it. It's all about scent memories and how they're not always good things. It's interesting, I hadn't thought Kenzo Flower, this is the power of perfume and discussion. I hadn't thought Kenzo Flower until you said it. But I totally see it. Do you want to know what it is? Because it's not Kenzo Flower. It is, you ready? You ready? It is, oh god, this is going to test my French. Étoile de Nuit by Goutal Paris. So, night star, night of a star, starry night, I don't know, something like that. I know étoile is star, I know nuit is night, I know une is a night star, star of a night, I don't know. Someone who can speak French translators. This is £82.80 for a 50ml and £121.50 for a 100ml. It is Mathieu Nardin again. The man can do so many beautiful things. It came out in 2019. And your fragrance fact is that Étoile de Nuit is one of 4 fragrances in Goutal's Le Parfum de Géraldine collection. And that's a collection inspired by the exuberance and sass of Annick Goutal's modelling years in the 70s when she posed under the pseudonym of Geraldine. So these are very sort of glam fragrances. And if you go to the website, you'll see some really cool modelling shots of her in the 70s, which are really, really chic. So Night Star, Star of the Night. Yes. I was in the right vein. we were talking about the right thing. Okay, further sniffing for you, and this is, like many of these actually that I'm showing you as your further sniffing ones that Escentual stock and ones that Escentual don't stock, because it's not about come and buy fragrance from us, it's just about education. But many of these you'll know you can get on Escentual. This is one that you can get on Escentual, further sniffing. So if you like powdery lipstick scents like this, I think you can go for 1889 Moulin Rouge by Histoire de Parfum. This is glorious. And I love how these bottles look like, the full-size bottle is double the size of this, and it's like they've cut it in half for the, what size is this? 40ml, 60ml? Yeah, 60ml. I don't know now. But this smells like theatre, like red theatre seats, kind of, that have been impregnated with the scent of face powder and lipstick and perfume over the years. It's really, really beautiful. Gavin's done a few dodgy things. Dressed as Geraldine. I think maybe we will talk about that another day, Gavin. I think that you can put that in your biography. But yeah, 1889 is a good alternative or further sniffing to Étoile de Nuit by Goutal Paris. Beautiful. Right, let's move on to G. We're near the end now. So, Fragrance G. If Fragrance G was an outfit, what outfit would it be? Oops, I can't get the sample out. You didn't like the Moulin Rouge one, Helen? Well, yeah, that was definitely the vibe I think they were going for, that it hadn't been cleaned in a while. Draw a powdered veil over it. Boom. Okay. If it was an outfit, what would it be? Oh, I love this one. I'm a big fan of this one. Big fan. We picked this fragrance because this is the Spiced Iris. It's iris and spices, which I think is quite a novel thing. And we often think of iris as powdery, feminine, cosmetic. This is boozy, spicy and warm. And the iris brings a massive sense of texture to all those things. G is lovely. It's very herbal. A dominatrix costume. Yeah, it's got latex and leather all over it. Beaded 20s flapper dress. Pepper, herbs. It smells to me like a really sexy pirate. Like Jack Sparrow after several baths. Or maybe if we're doing Pirates of the Caribbean, it should just be Orlando Bloom on his paddleboard. OG Essential Scents people will understand the reference. It's very boozy, it's like rummy, whiskey-like. It's like sweet golden liqueur aged in old wooden barrels. The wood itself is quite smoky. I think it's got a lot of Gaiac wood in there. Gaiac wood, when you smell it, smells a bit like smoked ham. But when you put it in a fragrance, it goes very woody, smoky, a little bit salty. And this has kind of some of that smokiness and that saltiness to it. And it's leather and suede and tonka bean and benzoin. I just think it's really beautifully done. A really deep, rich, iris powdery fragrance with booze and spice that doesn't feel heavy or oppressive. It just feels elegant. Paddleboard time already. I mean, it's only March. I think it took us until at least September to talk about it last time. Quite Christmassy. Yeah, I get that with spices. Burnt sugar and rum. Hot cross buns to me. I think that would be the spice, Carol. Bit dirty in a good way. Yeah, absolutely. Negroni, bit orange. Yeah, should be an amouage, says Ellie. Loads of clove on skin. Interesting, but not so much on paper. Fishy vibe from Iris. Interesting. Cinnamon and rum. Every time anyone says cinnamon, it makes me think of Cinnabon. I love Cinnabon. Ooh, Marie. What do you think it is then? What do you think it is? Okay, yeah, spicy reminds me of Navajar by L'artisan. So this fragrance is the bottle I've got is huge. What size is this bottle? It's a 150ml bottle that I think you could actually do some serious damage with. It is Bulgari Man in Black, and it looks a bit like that because I've sprayed something in its direction and it's kind of a matte bottle. There you go, let's give it a clean. Bulgari Man in Black, Eau de Parfum by Bulgari, created by perfumer Alberto Morillas, who you'll know from everything Gucci has done recently. Came out in 2014. It is £58.65 for a 60ml Eau de Parfum and £97.97 for a 150ml Eau de Parfum. Fragrance fact, what makes Man in Black so interesting is the fact that it's a masculine fragrance that features two distinctly feminine notes, tuberose and iris. So you get a sort of like rich floralcy in the background, which is the tuberose, which I think gives it some of that sweetness. And also the kind of powderiness comes from the iris. What I would say as well, it has a cool kind of twist to lock bottle thing going on. But there you go. Why are the ones that I like marketed to men? I don't know, but wear what you like. If you like it, wear it. I don't think anybody would go, ooh, you smell like a man in that. The further sniffing for this one, there's loads of flankers, Gavin. I'm sure there's an intense. There's Bulgari Man in Black on the moon, Bulgari Man in Black at the centre of the, I'm joking, none of those things exist, but there are lots of flankers. So, further sniffing, the Bulgari Man collection is really, really good. So many hidden gems. I don't feel like it gets talked about near enough. And I say, if you like this, then it doesn't smell the same. You remember, my further sniffing doesn't always try and replicate the scent. It tries to extend it in some way. So sometimes it will be because I want you to smell something that's in a similar vein, or it might be something in the same collection or by the same perfumer. Further sniffing is very free for. So if you like that one, I would say you go and try Bulgari Man Terray Essence. This one, again, nice little thingy. This one is beautiful. It smells like the earth on fire. It's like orange earth from the desert set on fire, and it has iris in it too. So I think it's a very, very good one. This came out last year. I think it's really good. Lovely, smoky, rich, inky leather. Beautiful. Bulgari gets a lot of love online. Tiger seems to be a must-have. I don't like any of the Gemma collection, I'll be honest. I think the bottles are horrible. 2 you're going to have to hide from the other half, Cheryl says. It's been my big discovery this evening too. Oh, that they're all the ones you like are marketed to men. Yeah, I think also it's because if you don't typically wear fragrances from across the aisle for the other gender, it's exciting to sit there and try them and realise that they're actually really good, because you might not normally go and smell them for you. It's made me realise you need to sample more masculine marketed fragrances. Yeah, Terre is great, I love it. Getting this in now, such a nice bottle. It's a really lovely bottle. This is the difference between 150, this is 150 ml size, and the Terre that I've got is all got my eyesight, is 100 ml. So it's a big old chunky bottle. So yes, big fan of that. Okay, is there a feminine version similar to this? Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I would say just get this, if you like it. Okay, let's do our last one. Last one of Iris. This has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed this. I loved doing it when we did 2 lives, but I feel like I enjoy it more when we do one altogether, because it feels like I've been looking forward to it for a long time. Let's do H, our last fragrance. And I think we're changing tack a little bit here because we're going for the Gourmand Iris. If this was a colour, what colour would it be? You just do that while I talk. So we picked this fragrance because, well, we started with a very modern current iris in the form of the wonderful Tiffany & Co. And I think I wanted to finish with one as well, so kind of bookend the box with it. And our tastes lean a lot sweeter these days. And this shows how iris sits in a more gourmand context. And this is a very luxurious, fun fragrance that makes iris smell like spun sugar. So if you've taken iris powder, popped it in a candy floss machine, this is the result. Everyone's saying it's pink, it's hot pink, it's fluffy colour, yeah. I think it smells like, imagine if you took a bunch of roses and some iris roots and ground them to a fine powder. You then dusted that vanilla cake with a few glazed strawberries on top for decoration. That's what this fragrance is. It could be sickly, calorific and gross, but it's not. It's just actually really refined. Lovely sherbet. Yes, Angela, I think it's a great way to describe it. It is sherbet-like, isn't it? It's fizzy. It's got a lovely citrus thing going on in the top. You know, it has, I think it's a bergamot note that makes it really, really sort of juicy up front. Yes, I can see the Scherzo reference there, Sean. Schiaparelli pink is the best kind of pink. Yes, Schiaparelli pink. Do I have some Schiaparelli pink? No, I don't. I had a Schiaparelli book somewhere, which had that lovely pink on the inside, but I can't find it. I just revealed that I'm sat here wearing jogging trousers. I apologise, but it's a sweatband evening. Okay, do you want to know what the fragrance is? Let's go. Last one. Ba-ba-ba-da. This is Donna. Donna, everyone, Donna. Donna is obviously Italian for woman, but I think this is an interesting kind of shows how like marketing works in different languages. Because in Italy, it's donna, you know, woman, and here it's Donna. You know, it feels very different to me. Anyway, this is by Valentino. It's an eau de parfum. Came out in 2015 by Sonia Constant and Antoine Maisondieu, the perfumers. It's £48.45 for a 30 ml eau de parfum and £96, I believe, for 100 ml. This fragrance pays homage, well, the bottle pays homage to the Valentino rock stud, which you can see here, which is an iconic feature of the house that's used as a signature throughout their collections. And the rock stud is also seen a lot in Rome in sort of architecture as well. So it's beautiful, fizzy, spun sugar iris, very powdery. It's lovely. My best friend adores this fragrance, so I may have to give this to her. Further sniffing for a gourmand iris that you can't beat. If you love that, you want another gourmand iris, you cannot beat La Vie Belle. We did this in our gourmand box, but it is candy floss, toasted strawberries and iris powder. It's absolutely beautiful. So there you go. La Vie Belle is your further sniffing. Right. I hope that was fun for you. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope that you have found some new things to love in the box. The Tuberose box is now on sale for April. And obviously now the change is that if you order it, you'll get it, you know, within a few days of ordering it rather than having to wait. I am going to leave you because I've taken a little bit too much of your time. So, you know, I'll now give it back to you because you've got things to do and I don't want to keep you. Keep sort of talking in the group, and if you've got any fragrances that you buy from the collection, I'd love to know what you bought from the box and what you loved. Gavin, I'm sure you're going to love Tuberose. I think it'll be full of surprises like the Iris. Thank you, everybody. This has been a lovely, lovely, fun evening. I look forward to this so, so much. So thank you for all of your comments, and I will see you soon. Night, everybody.